there are healthy habits that you have to drop because you think that they're making you more productive. You think that they're helping you to become an it girl, but actually what they're doing is distracting you and stopping you from reaching your goals. And today we're going to discuss 7 of them. Now, these are going to shock you because you're going to think, what? How is this actually detracting from me? But I want you to take your time and listen and also make the necessary changes, because if you don't do this, you'll be doing all the right things, but by 3 p.m. you have no focus, your goals are undone, and you keep thinking, what am I doing wrong? But it is these healthy habits that are holding you back. So let's get into it. The first thing you want to look at is starting your day with a podcast. And you might be thinking, what? How else am I supposed to learn? But that right there is the danger. You get caught up in constantly learning before your brain has even formed an original thought for itself. You're here taking in someone else's ideas, constantly taking in information. When do you make the time to actually action on the things that you're learning instead of constantly taking them in day after day, time after time? And now the danger might be that, okay, you know what, I will not listen when I wake up, I'm going to listen while I'm getting ready. And there lies what I'm guilty of. One time I spent an hour and a half listening to a podcast between Emma Grede and her husband. That episode was so good. I took an hour and a half to get ready to do my makeup, and I'm a 10 to 15 minute girl because this is literally all I do every day. But because I was so focused on listening, that took time from time that was meant for my goals. And so be very intentional about the time you spend on this habit. The next productive habit that is slowing you down is journaling without prompts. I'm a journal girly. I have journals dating back to 2006. Journaling can be a great tool for you to elevate, for you to become the it girl you want. But that only works when you give your brain a direction. What prompts are you putting down? Otherwise, it just becomes a brain dump all the time where you're just dumping things out, but you're not reflecting, you're not taking any lessons, you're not manifesting, you're not affirming. All you're doing is journaling problems. And so you want to give your brain direction so that you can actually reap the huge benefits that journaling has given so many top athletes and the top 1% performers. You need to know what journaling is as a tool and use it right. So for instance, if you're someone who journals in the morning, some prompts you can use is, who am I trying to become today? Because you want to reinforce the identity of who you are. What are my 3 non-negotiables today? Again, you don't want to just write to-do lists. You want to write things that will actually move you forward. Other things you can journal about are your gratitude list, your affirmations, your manifestations. Give your brain a direction. The third thing is working out when your body cannot recover. And this is something I am so guilty of. I used to be the person that set a time that I'm going to work out at 6. And I am such a late sleep girly. I sleep after midnight. And if I'm waking up at 6 to go run, do high intensity workout, my body has not recovered enough because my body needs about 7 to 8 hours of sleep. But because I was so fastidious about working out at 6 a.m., I'll wake up whether I've had 2 or 3 hours and go work out. That is not productive because by 9 a.m. I am tired. I do not have enough energy mentally, physically to do the things on my to-do list. So how many of these are you guilty of? Because the next one is probably one of the biggest culprits as well. The fourth productive habit that is slowing you down is finding inspiration before you start work. Let's say you have to record a video. How many times do you say, you know what, let me go look for some inspiration online on what I want to create before I do it? You're stealing your creativity first of all, and instead of spending 45 minutes, you end up spending 3 hours online looking for inspiration. And sometimes you feel like, you know what, I don't think I'm capable of this. I'm not even doing it anymore. How is that helping you? Where are my coffee lovers? Because this next one is going to knock. The fifth habit that is possibly getting in your way is drinking coffee. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't drink coffee at all, but some people do it as the first thing before they get anything into their tummies. By the time you wake up, you have high cortisol already. If you drink coffee on top of that, you're just increasing your stress without needing to. How about you drink water first? Hydrate. Remember that coffee is also a dehydrator. It dehydrates. So how about you drink water first, hydrate, and then you can have your coffee. Even better, drink water, have food. Sometimes when you're intermittent fasting, like I do a lot of times, black coffee helps. But drinking water first always helps you so that you're not consistently just stressing yourself unnecessarily. And if you're tired in the middle of the day, coffee is the worst thing for you. Do not drink coffee after 3 p.m. because first of all, it will just give you a high for about an hour, and then you get a deeper crash, and then you also impair your sleep cycle. So it's a lose-lose. From a coffee drinker, I would say that just have to be smart about it. Let it fuel our goals instead of distract. All of these habits are not terrible. They're not bad habits. But if you don't use them right, then they become detrimental to our goals and to our ambitions. And we do not want that. We've already established that. The third habit that seems productive, but it's actually getting in your way, is making so many decisions in the morning. Decisions on what to wear, what to eat, how to plan your day. These are things you should have done the night before. Your brain has a reserve, and so no matter how small the decisions are, you're taking it away from your mental reserves. And so when you need your brain to do the things that matter, to actually think about important things, your brain is tired because you've used it all on thinking about the lunch you want to have. Do these things the night before. Plan the night before on these little decisions, so that when you wake up, you're on autopilot and you reserve your brain for the important things. And then the final thing is replying to messages before you do your own work. You do not want to give yourself the impression that other people are more important than you. And this is such an easy thing to do, because you wake up, you pick up your phone, then you see that WhatsApp notification, that DM that you want to reply to. You haven't meditated, you haven't read your Bible. What have you done for yourself before you reply to all those messages? And when it's a bad message, it just ruins your entire morning if you're not careful, your day. And so before you even get to your phone, do something for yourself. In the Dawn Challenge, I talk about writing before you consume, creating before you consume. You can decide to, even if it is just 5 minutes of activating your body, stretching, anything for yourself before you go out to look at everything that everyone else has to say or wants you to do for that day. So here you have it, the 7 things that seem productive but might actually be taken from you. One thing to notice, that a habit isn't productive only when it looks productive. It is productive when it adds to you, when it fuels you, it gives you energy, it gives you momentum, so that you can go do ambitious things in the world. And so if it is taken from you, if it's making you show up less, if it is draining your energy, then it might not be the thing for you. You can comment below which of these habits you're most guilty of. I'm definitely guilty of the podcast one, and sometimes replying to messages, and definitely the workout one. And I am constantly making effort to make myself better in these areas. My name is Abby. Thank you for being here. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your ambitious girlies.